Afternoon, welcome to the September 28th, 2021 Ordinance Committee meeting for the City of Santa Barbara. Ms. Crescente, would you take the roll, please?
Councilmember Sneddon.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Oscar Gutierrez.
Present.
And Chair Jordan.
And here, and we'll move right to public comment for items that are not on today's agenda. Ms. Crescente, I'll let you walk people through that and lead the way.
Thank you, Chair Jordan. If you'd like to make a comment on items that are not on the agenda, you can raise your hand within the app. Doesn't look like we have anybody that is in the meeting at the moment, so no public comment at this moment.
All right,
Thank
and
you.
we'll move to our item today, which is a discussion on a municipal code amendment and a memorandum of understanding with the county related to septic tank regulations. And so I'll invite the staff on to walk us through this. Hello, Ms. Dye.
Good afternoon, Chair Jordan and Council. My name is Tina Dye, Chief Building Official, and I'm happy to present the municipal code changes and memorandum of understanding with the County of Santa Barbara, Environmental Health Services for septic tanks regulations. Next slide, please. So the recommendation is that Council adopt municipal code amendments relating to on-site wastewater treatment systems, and also recommend that Council enter into a memorandum of understanding with the County of Santa Barbara Environmental Health Services, delegating permit authority for septic tank regulations. Next slide, please. Our objective is to comply with new state regulations for on-site wastewater treatment systems, also known as OWTS. And these are standards that were effective in May of 2003, and they allow city customers to achieve compliance relative to our local conditions, and also to delegate permitting authority to the County of Santa Barbara Environmental Health Service Office to achieve compliance. Next slide, please. The State Regional Water Quality Control Board adopted new mandatory on-site wastewater treatment standards that became effective in May of 2003. And these standards regulate the siting, design, operation, and maintenance of OWTS systems. And the purpose is to protect water quality and public health. Next slide, please. The new mandatory standards covers new septic installations and major repair of existing septic systems for things like failing tanks and clogged leach lines, etc. Next slide, please. The new requirements affect 785 parcels in the city that are not connected to the public sewer. And due to local geological conditions like clay soil types and high groundwater, some of the systems are not able to meet the new state standards. But these customers can achieve compliance by using the County of Santa Barbara's approved local management plan, which I'll cover more in another slide. Next slide, please. First, it's important to explain that the new standards offers compliance options by way of a tiered system. Tier 1 is the first approach and requires applicants to meet more restrictive requirements. And this approach does not allow the use of dry wells in new construction. And it allows repairs of dry wells for repair our existing systems. However, applicants would have to go directly to the state to achieve compliance verification, which is a pretty lengthy process. The second approach is a tier 2, which allows a local agency to use a local management program. And next slide, please. Tier 2 also allows a local agency to develop a customized management plan that address conditions specific to this jurisdiction. In 2015, the Regional Water Quality Control Board approved a local management program for the city of Santa Barbara. And our third approach option would be to use our local city of Santa Barbara local standards, but these do not meet the Regional Water Quality Control Board's basic or basin plan criteria. Next slide, please. So in conclusion, Tier 2 is the approach that staff is recommending to allow the most flexibility to our customers to meet compliance. So to do this, we would need to amend sections 1448.180 through 1448.220 to repeal our current municipal code regulations relating to permitting of septic tanks. And we would need to add section 22.04.031 to add regulations to adopt by reference Article 1 of Chapter 18C of the County of Santa Barbara, which delegates the permitting authority of septic tanks to County of Santa Barbara Environmental Health Services. Next slide, please. So again, the recommendation is that council adopt municipal code amendments relating to OWTS treatment systems and to enter into a memorandum of understanding with Santa Barbara County Environmental Health Services delegating permitting authority for septic tank regulations. And that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Dye. Questions from the committee members? Ms. Sneddon.
Thank you, Chair Jordan. I just have sort of a general question about up in Mission Canyon, there are issues with septic systems and with the county, and how does this affect if the county has the authority, the permitting authority, how does it affect that whole area in particular? And just looking at the map of the septic areas, it's really a lot of the hillsides and just questions about the actual MOU main bullet points.
Thank you, Councilmember Sin. Just to make sure I'm clear on what you're asking, it has a positive impact on the parcels that otherwise wouldn't be allowed to use a septic system. Does that answer your question, or did you need more specifics on how it allows them to use septic systems?
Well, just the like sort of the main 3 bullet points of what the MOU, what the understanding is, what the actual agreement is.
Okay,
it's in the staff report, very well laid out, but I think it would be helpful to have just the main points of understanding that we're agreeing to.
Chair Jordan and Councilmember Sneddon, if I may, I can jump in. I have some history in that area. So the parcels in Mission Canyon that are not city properties would not be covered by this. And so the county has their own regulations for septic tanks. I'm pretty confident that ours are mirroring them. So they likely already have these rules in place.
Thank you.
Ms. Bjork, could I just invite you back on? I had some softball questions for you, going back a ways in my history too. And I just want to get you to acknowledge a couple of the points. So a couple of the good things out of this, obviously at the top of the list is where our particular interests, the septic tanks that are being administered by the city, are finally going to come in compliance with an already approved regional or statewide water board system instead of standards by piggybacking into the county's approved LEMP system, right?
That's correct.
And then the advantage to a homeowner here is, I think I remember that a homeowner generally who was in this gray area of in the city, but on a septic system, not served by the county or not administered by the county, literally had to drive up and get on an agenda at the Regional Water Quality Board in San Luis Obispo to talk about their septic tank. They didn't have a local player here to administer that, right?
Yes, that is also the right. So yes, it's an advantage for our local people.
And then the county's been obviously in this business since, at least in this LAMP program, since 2015, and they probably have miles and miles and miles of these issues that dwarf ours. So they're like a subject matter expert in handling the issues that would come up where it's a small little part of our waste treatment process that we handle, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And actually brings up a good point because septic customers by definition are not part of our waste treatment system. They do not have city provided waste treatment. The county already has an existing regulatory program and staff who are experienced with doing this. This is a very typical setup between cities and counties for the counties to administer the septic tanks and have an under agreement with the city. We have similar programs for other types of programs like we don't contract with the county, but they have authority for restaurants. So we already work collaboratively in a number of areas around public health, and this is another of those.
Very good. Thanks so much. If nobody else on the committee has any questions, I would invite Ms. Crisanti back on and we will see if there's any public comment to this item.
Chair Jordan, at this moment in time, there's nobody that's attending this.
Nobody wanted to talk water treatment today?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll close public comment and then it's to the committee for discussion and any recommendation to council. Welcome back. Ms. Sneddon, we'll go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a welcome change. There have been a lot of issues back and forth in these areas, particularly in the hillsides, and I'm supportive of these changes as they're proposed. Happy to make the motion.
Let's do that, and then we'll get to Mr. Gutierrez.
Sorry, is my mic on? Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, I just want to ask before I second the motion whether or not there's been, I assume there's been outreach to the community members who this would be affecting, but I just want to hear from staff as to how receptive people were to this change or proposed change.
Not seeing anyone else jump on, so there we go. Eli, go ahead.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Chair Jordan, Councilmember Gutierrez. This process has been going on for a number of years. It actually predates both Tina and my time at the city. There's been a fair amount of outreach. We also recently received a letter of support from the Santa Barbara Realtors Association, saying that this was a step in the right direction for a number of their members and constituents. So I think that, to echo some of the comments made by Chair Jordan and Ms. Bjork, I think this is really going to be a benefit to residents here in the city of Santa Barbara.
Thank you for that. Yeah, with that, I would like to second the motion and move this forward to the rest of the council to hear their input on the proposed changes.
Super. So I would just echo my earlier comments too. I just see this as it's both a plus for the standards that will be a little better and a plus for our customers in that gray area to deal with a program that's here locally already and not having to try and avail themselves through the bureaucracy of appearing in front of a regional water board a couple hours away. So Ms. Crisanti, there's a motion and a second. Would you take a roll call, please?
Yes. Recommendations from Ordinance Committee were moved by Councilmember Sneddon, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Oscar Gutierrez. Mayor Pro Tem Oscar Gutierrez.
Aye.
Councilmember Sneddon.
Yes.
And Chair Jordan.
And I am a yes also, so we'll unanimously forward that to council for consideration with the full group. And that is the only item we have today. So we will adjourn until we see everybody back together at 2 o'clock for full council. Thanks.